So the first two games of the NBA play-in tournament taught me two things. The first thing, and what I'm about to get straight into, is that the Miami Heat need to try something different. All of the war stories were nice. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, all of that was nice. But I've made a video specifically saying this, and I'm saying it again. How far can you go with those guys who don't have the God-given ability? These guys have worked and worked and worked to become great players for this Miami Heat basketball team. But you can't win at the highest level without stars. Jimmy Butler's a nice guy, but he's not that. He wasn't born like that. He's not a Kevin Durant. You can even say Trae Young. These guys who just have special ability that, yes, they worked on their game, but it was in them all along. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, the stars that we have in the league, D-Book, I can name them all. You can't win for so long without this. And, you know, we made it to the finals. Had the play-in. We had a chance to win this game, but it just isn't enough. And when it's really not enough is when you don't play defense. We talk about the Miami Heat being a team who's going to get it out the mud. We have the dogs. Eric Spoelstra's going to coach them up with the best of them. We got player development. We never have to worry about a Miami Heat team not giving 100%. Last night, I saw a team that didn't give 75%. Let's look at the statistics. The key number that I'm going to is the rebounds. 63 rebounds for the Atlanta Hawks. 63 rebounds. And let's look at the Miami Heat. We know that the Miami Heat are an undersized team. Tried to bring in Dwayne Dedmon for some size. Didn't pan out. Bam Adebayo, the biggest big that we have. Really the only big. Kevin Love played 3 minutes, as we can see right here. 39 rebounds to 63 rebounds. And truly, these guys, everybody had a good game for the Atlanta Hawks. Hunter got into foul trouble, didn't shoot well, but you know he brings defense. Brought that. I mean, look at the statistics. These guys are shooting well, getting to the line. It was a poor game. And if you really watch the game, the box score is not going to tell it all. You see a team that won by 11 points. I see a team that won by 20 points, that won comfortably, that didn't have any question of whether they were going to win. Even Bogdanovich coming off the bench, hitting threes, laughing, pointing in the crowd's faces. This is not what you expect from a Miami Heat basketball team. And I think what this game has taught me, it's time to blow it up. Now, I want to get to the Miami Heat because defensively, you ran some different looks. Came out there, man. You came out there in zone. The zone was terrible. I don't know what the idea was, why guys weren't disciplined. What really made me mad when I saw Trae Young come up the court. And this is not a fast break play. This is just running the offense. We're running down court. We're getting into a shot. Trae Young is going to throw a behind the back pass to the corner, and I think it was either Sadiq Bey or it was Bogdanovich who shot the three in the corner. It was one of those guys. And that's when I knew. I remember it fine as day. Caleb Martin sitting right there at the wing. Nobody's in the corner. Wide open three. Timeout Heat. Come back out and you made a little run. That's why I said, you know, it looked promising, but it never really was. Anybody who watched the game, who felt the flow of the game, you knew this game was never promising. Jimmy Butler was out there missing layups, and he's frustrated with himself. You know, one specific play I want to point to, he missed a fast break layup, and then he's beating himself up. You could see him talking to him, and he's saying a layup, because how do you miss a layup, basically? And then Bam Adebayo, Bam Adebayo has so much talent, and I just don't know what's not clicking. The Atlanta Hawks went into a zone, and I think this was about the second quarter before halftime. Adebayo he's not aggressive. 12 shots is not enough. With your season on the line, you're the best player on our team, and I'm talking about Jimmy Butler's nice. I like him, but I think Bam can make a case for that as well. You have to get at least 20 shots. Instead of that 6 for 19, let me see you get the 19 shots. Tyler Hero's getting into his shot. He had a great night. We also know who had a great night. Kyle Lowry shooting threes. I mean, when Kyle Lowry has your best game, you know you're in a tough spot because it didn't come in a way that was just natural. Kyle Lowry was aggressive all night, drawing contact, pulling up for threes off the pick and roll, getting shots because he needed those shots. We needed those shots for the Miami Heat. And he had a great night. 5 for 5 from the line. I can say everything about Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero, but outside of that, Gabe Vincent expected more. Max Strus expected more. You know, it's Kevin Love, didn't expect much out of him. Victor Oladipo, we brought him in. We thought he would be something in small spurts. Hasn't been that. This is a team, and I don't think the Atlanta Hawks are the best basketball team. They're going against the Boston Celtics in the first round. That's going to be a tough matchup. I like Jalen Johnson. I like Sadiq Bey. I like their bench. That 9 deep lineup they have. Bruno Fernando is also pretty solid. In that starting 5, we know is pretty good. So they're going to be a good competitive team, but I don't think this was a team that the Heat had no chance against. And it looked as if we didn't have a chance. Now let me get into this next game. The Lakers versus the Timberwolves. This is the second thing. I said the play-in taught me 2 things. This is the second thing. And that's nothing. I like the Lakers. I think the Lakers are a contender, although many don't. And I say contender, I mean a contender to make it out of the West. You can feel how you feel about the Lakers, and I respect it. I respect all takes about the Lakers because they've been very inconsistent. But I'm just one of the guys who lays on the line of saying this is a team that I think can make it out the West. Because there's no solid team. Other than Phoenix, I like Memphis, but they have the injuries. And now I'm thinking about it, other than Phoenix, but those guys got to stay healthy too. The West is so many options of teams who can get it. So I want to start with the Lakers because AD, Braun, they did it. They did their thing. You know, Vanderbilt, another solid guy. I want to see him get more minutes. And you understand he's not going to be the offensive juggernaut. He's not going to be that. If you get 10 points out of Jared Vanderbilt, you had a pretty good game offensively. Russell, D'Lo had a pretty off night getting out of pick and roll. But the key thing I want to talk about, though, is the turnovers. And that's the biggest thing. LeBron, he's only played about 8-9 games since he got back from the injury. So he's still getting into the groove. They got some time off going to Memphis, but they got to stop playing sloppy because they start off every game terrible. I mean, seriously. Either it's a close game with a team that it shouldn't be close with, or either you get losing to a team you shouldn't be losing to. And it's because of the turnovers. You can't make shots early, and then you get into the groove as the game progresses. But we can't have that in the playoffs because once you get into these 7-game series, these playoff series, it's going to tighten down. And those leads, teams aren't backing off the pedal at all. So another thing I want to talk about, though, is the bench. Dennis Schroeder, a lot of people say, why does he get so much minutes? But I think especially in a night where D'Lo was off, it was warranted. And he came in and had a good game. 3 or 4 from the 3-point line, 8 of 8 from the free throw line, 5. Everything was pretty solid. Troy Brown had an off shooting night, but I still like him. Get him about 15-20 minutes a night. Rui Hachimura. This is a guy that's been clicking as we get into that late part of the season. And I think it's going to be interesting with him. Lakers fans, in the comments, let me know what you think. Would you rather, because I had a lineup I was thinking about as I was making this video. And Malik Beasley, you know, he's on and off with the shooting. So I think if he's not having a hot shooting night, he's not going to be in this lineup I'm talking about. But the key lineup is we can swap D'Lo and Reeves. I like Reeves. You see that he's not, I don't think he had a really bad game. Had an off shooting night, but you see when he's not getting to the line, he has to get to the line more. This is a team that gets to the line. Basically, all of their solid players can get to the free throw line. They don't make all of them, but it's still something good they do. Now, Reeves and Russell, those are the 2 players I'm talking about when I talk about this lineup. And those can be the guards, one of the guards. And I want LeBron stepping in. This is kind of a positionless lineup. I want LeBron stepping up as the quote-unquote 2 guard. And then I want to play Vanderbilt and Hachimura. And I think that's a lineup in the playoffs that I would try to run because Hachimura can shoot the 3. Vanderbilt, not really the biggest shooter, but he's a cutter. And if you need him, he may make 1 a game, something like that. AD, we know him in the low post. And see, they're going to try to double off AD. And then that's when we can send a cut in James. We can send a cut in Vanderbilt. And then we got the guard, Russell or Reeves. So let me know what you think about that lineup. I'm going to give it to you again. Reeves or Russell is the 1. James at the 2. Rui Hachimura at the 3. Vanderbilt at the 4. AD at the 5. I think that's a lineup that I would like going into this playoffs and that I would run. But overall, I mean, this game really didn't show me a lot. The key thing that I did note, when they got into overtime, I liked that. But like I said, started off slow. In the middle of the game, I liked more of that. As far as the Timberwolves, I mean, you're gassed. You have the injuries. You have Gobert being suspended. You have Jaden McDaniels. You have Nas Reed. That is your That's your core. Outside of Edwards, outside of Anderson and, you know, Towns. So that is the guys that we depend on, and they weren't there. When we have to play Nickeil Alexander, when we have to play Jordan Noel, we have to play Jalen McLaughlin, those guys key minutes. Now that's when we're getting out of what we like to play, and we find ourselves in a situation like this. But overall, I think this game, I'm kind of neutral. I don't feel better about the Lakers. I don't feel worse about the Lakers. Karl Towns got in foul trouble, and that's the thing. Anderson and Towns got in foul trouble. And when we have that, offensively, Anthony Edwards only gave us not even 10 points. So we're talking about a guy, our best player. You could say best player with Karl Towns, but one of our best players having a night like that in the play-in, we're up against it. We already missing the depth. This is a game the Lakers should have won, and I don't like the way in which they won it. Now we can say this game would have been over in regulation if AD didn't foul. That is a very, very respectable take. But I think that didn't happen. You went into overtime, and you should have ended up winning this game comfortably. Was a low-scoring game. So we can say that the Timberwolves shot bad, but I also want to say that the Lakers played some defense, because I think they are a better defensive team. One of the better defensive teams in the playoffs post-trade deadline. So it's all about the consistency for me. And that's what I'm going to be keeping up on with the Lakers as we get into the playoffs. I want to see how they match up against the Grizzlies. Going to be interesting. I think it's a tough series. If I had to give it right now, I think the Lakers win this series. And that's a tough one for me to say. It's really a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em, and I would pick the Lakers because of LeBron James. I'm not going to overthink it. I know LeBron James, and I know when it's playoff time, he's different. You could say, okay, he lost to Phoenix in the first round. That was an injury-riddled season. This is something different. I think they're the healthiest they've been in a while, especially getting into the playoffs. Interested to see what happens. I like it. I think the first two playing games were pretty solid, pretty entertaining. Tonight, I want to see what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does. But also, if you want to see another guy who's going to be a star in the playoffs, check him out here at this next video. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We out.